Slowly, things are now changing. There's now a paradigm shift in terms of understanding adaptation issues, understanding how it should work, and understanding, especially in the NAP, Ethiopia's NAP, there are 4 important strategic priorities, and the most important one is mainstreaming adaptation into each sector plans and programs. So now people have started to capture that working in silo doesn't work anymore, and this project-based approach will not work anymore. So bringing in, embedding the thinking in the planning process, that is what is now slowly starting to catch up, and that is, I have a hope that it's going to take time. Mainstreaming will definitely take like 5 to 10 years. It's going to take time, but it has now started to show people have now started to understand the importance of adaptation and understand how they should be doing it, not in a project, not a separate project, but embedding it within the program, the plans that they are doing on. I am quite optimistic on that, and that's on the right track. And also, there is a good understanding of capacity needs. So people now, previously they might not even understand whether they need to know adaptation or not, but they seem to understand there needs to be a capacity need, continuous capacity need, in the implementation of the National Adaptation Plan. And also there is this understanding of the need to document. They need to document knowledge management, especially when it comes to adaptation. You know, in Ethiopia, I don't know if it's the same in other countries, most of the adaptation knowledge, they sit within the dock of NGOs. NGOs are the one holding most of the adaptation knowledge at an ad hoc basis here and there. The government doesn't even know that. So there is no platform to bring together this knowledge and document it and pass it to the next generation or pass it to those who don't know. So the NAP recognizes this, and I think the government is also working on that in improving the documentation system for better learning and experience. And also, there's also research. Research is now given priority in understanding and communicating adaptation in general. So those are the things that we're really working on. The NAP process, you don't start from scratch. So it builds on existing processes. So bringing together existing stakeholders, bringing together existing processes is time-taking and very challenging, which I have seen throughout this process of developing the National Adaptation Plan. So that is one. Coordination and integration is, especially Ethiopia is a very huge country, very big country with more than 100 million people, and there are also 9 regions in country, and each of these regions have their own NAP, by the way, and there is also a federal sectors also have their own NAP. So the NAP, the national, the main NAP connects the dot, and to do that you need to understand what is in the regional NAPs and the sectoral NAPs. And the sectoral NAPs per se, we call it is climate resilient strategy. So bringing that together and connecting the dots, it's time taking, and coordination efforts need to be done. And there is also this challenge of capacity. Capacity building is the biggest challenge, and there was also a lot of staff turnover. Other competing priorities are there, confusion with livelihood projects, livelihood programs, development programs. Some of them, they don't even understand the differences between the development work and the livelihood work and the adaptation work. So there are a lot of problems and challenges that they are working through. Vertical integration is very important for me. The other day there was a question, which one is important, vertical or horizontal? For me, vertical integration is very important. The other one is to enhance what you will achieve through the vertical. If there is no vertical integration, if the work that you are doing is not going down to the subnational, national level, where the rubber has to hit the ground and where the problem is, it doesn't really make sense for me to be concerned about horizontal integration, because adaptation is very locally specific. We know that, and especially in Ethiopia, the vulnerabilities, the capacities are very different from region to region. Even in one region, go to Lalibela and Waldia are in the same region, but they have different vulnerability, different capacity, different agroecology, and etc. So, given that situation, you need to focus on vertical integration. How do you integrate? How do you speak to each other vertically? The good thing in Ethiopia is it's a federal system, and there's already a built structure from the Prime Minister office to the Kabale level. So you use that. And as I have said already, the NAP benefits from the architecture which is already established by the CRG system. That is one. We also developed a mainstreaming guideline which enhances this vertical integration. Now, peoples at subnational level know what other sectors are doing, what other sectors are doing at federal level, because they will be using the same guideline. They will know who is doing what at federal level, at subnational level, and national level, and local level. And there is this governance structure that the NAP will utilize, which is already developed for the climate resilient green economy, which is very well connected from bottom up, bottom. So, and we will be using also always in our engagement, in our planning process, we engage subnational entities to make sure that their needs and priorities are captured well. So it's an iterative process, and that is how we will be implementing the National Adaptation Plan. Yeah. See, when I say having a NAP is a beginning, not an end, when you have a NAP, you will be clearer on the impacts of climate change, on the vulnerabilities, on the barriers. You will also be clearer on the capacities what you have and your needs. You will also be clearer on the governance structure, whether it works for your NAP or not. You see, you will just be clearer to take off, to start delivering your work. That is what I mean by that. And once you have a NAP, that NAP will help you, to develop. You will have a roadmap. You will develop a roadmap for your map on how do you implementation roadmap. By that I mean how do you want to implement those adaptation options or strategic priorities you have identified in your NAP. When, where, what resources you would need. You will be able to identify that. Once you have a NAP, you need to have a NAP first. That's what I'm saying. And also, you will have to develop an M&A system for that. An M&A system. That's how you cannot develop an M&A system without having a NAP. You will also have to develop a funding strategy for that, and so on and so forth. You can pull out a lot of things out of that, and you can. So that is why I'm saying it should be seen as a starting point for implementing adaptation in country.